Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Mengru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, our Thursday, helping of SD2 League Season 6 action is coming to you over here on Slutsk. Ryan, who do we have?
Well, on the left-hand side, in the blue, we have ourselves Uri Tanner playing Trophy S with a balanced income. Right-hand side in the red, we have Dark Neutron playing as 2nd American Infantry with a Juggernaut income.
Now, looking over here at some of the supply material that we're seeing, especially early on, potential early pack howitzers. I don't know that we're going to see a ton of them immediately. I mean, they certainly are relatively expensive, pieces for what you're going to get. But maybe if we get a total of 9, and judging by the amount of supply trucks, he probably will transition into an artillery kind of style of play here.
Yeah, 2nd Infantry is pretty good. Yeah, he's actually pretty light, no long toms, just some mortars and mortar half-tracks, yeah. So, pretty interesting choice. But just seeing the initial deployment here, North pretty quiet here, Tanner just taking that. Dark Neutron really hitting the beaches or the hill in the center and getting all the way to the opposing side. As Tanner didn't send anything up there is a bit of a mistake, I feel like. Or down south is where Tanner's really going a bit heavier.
And I think that to a certain degree, I'm not going to say it's fair, necessarily. You never really want to have your opponent have the central position just because it allows so many other flexibility options, and especially on Slutsk with this massive north-south opportunity. But he has taken the early opportunity to drop a Panther on this southern side of the map. Takes out an early Sherman. Jeez.
Yeah, it is a very expensive early purchase with the Panther. I mean, it's going to be, if he uses it effectively, it should do pretty well. Just keep it at long range, and on that hill you have some pretty nice sight lines.
And I think that's the important thing. You want everything to look pretty, you want everybody else to see you. Like, I totally get that, actually.
Yeah. And then you can blow them up with your 75mm high-velocity gun.
As is the way, I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah. And Tanner is trying to rectify his mistake of leaving the central position open with his 3-2-3-3s. My question is, with that light vehicle force, what he originally deployed him up north. What was his original intention with him? Was he going to move him across the open field? That would seem a bit silly, as you would just, get exposed. Was he trying to go, to where the engineers were in at Farmstead?
And that's what I'm thinking. He would use them as kind of like a screening force. Yes, the 57 mil being brought in here is going to be more than enough to take them out when it comes necessary. But, yikes. But until then, they would have held up the enemy. I mean, it's an investment of just about 100 points. So, actually just over 100 points. So, nothing too crazy. I'm more fascinated by this early M10. So, we've seen a lot of heavier vehicles being purchased already by Dark Neutron. Regrettably, a lot of them have not come to good ends.
No, they have not. I mean, those 2-3-3s have done a pretty admirable job of kicking the Americans a little bit off the hill, at least off the edges. Of course, if he really wants to get back up here and clear the forest, he's gonna need infantry. And he has 2 Panther Grenadiers moving up, but on foot. So it's gonna take him a little bit to actually get here. And it's gonna give this 57mm gun time to get into position.
It certainly will. And I guess the important thing here is, will the 57 mil be able to take out all of those lighter vehicles? Not without needlessly exposing himself, I feel like. Because those guys are almost perfectly placed in the lee of that slope.
I know. That's a very good position for him to be in. And it's just a little bit backwards, and he would get popped by our anti-tank gun.
Tank buster coming to the south. And that might be enough. That's just enough to keep him safe. Yikes, that 88. The Focke-Wulf, not going to get there. Not going to get there in time.
No, he really needs to drop his load before thinking about engaging that P-47.
And that's the mark right there, so that way he knows to start bombing. Or rather start striking, let's say, more accurately. Also, another M10 being brought here to the south. Potentially there to kind of pick up on it, or at least defend against that early Panther aggression. But there's a Pack 40 that's there that's going to be able to, I think, certainly keep them on their toes, if nothing else.
But I mean, yeah, we're 5 minutes into A phase, and it's been a pretty steady trove. Not really anything too crazy back or forth in terms of flags. I feel like Tanner does have the potential advantage in terms of initiative. As if he can clear off his hill, he could potentially get back to that crossroad on the hill, or even down south, just trying to capture one of the flags at least.
And you know what? I actually kind of like this early Pack 40 play. M10's going to get engaged by both the Panther and the Pack 40. Pack 40 probably going to go. Yep, he does go and save the Panther command tank as the shooter is down for another few seconds here. But actually, I do like this early Pack 40 play. I feel like if you could secure with some heavier anti-tank, you can shut down this reinforcement arterial both to the absolute southern side as well as to that kind of southern central side of the map.
Indeed, indeed. And also with 2nd Infantry, they don't have the heaviest of tanks. I mean, they have the Sherman Rhino, but it's not exactly a heavy-hitting tank. You're really relying on the 76mm anti-tank guns and the Wolverines to really do the anti-tank. And the Hellcats, too, I forgot, to do the anti-tank play. But all of that is pretty lightly armored. So Panthers and Tigers, Panzer IVs, and 233s can kill them.
That's true. But you know what? There is one thing that we haven't talked about yet in terms of the 2nd. And that's, they still have Gabby.
They still have... That's true.
I think Gab.
It's who's gonna win, Gabby or Whitman?
Oh, absolutely, Gabby. Come on, Whitman does not win anything. The only thing he wins is a steel box. So, like,
yes. He was. To be fair, he was very lucky at last match we saw him.
True.
Yes, he survived, which is an anomaly to say the least.
Yeah, but I don't think he really covered himself in glory either. I feel like he just kind of ambled about the field, and no wonder he survived. He didn't engage anything. No,
that's fair. That's fair. He was definitely playing in a bit more defensively. But we're seeing both sides now actually getting more half-tracks onto the field, which are some of my favorite units. So this would be great fun seeing them just go to town. The M21 did get spotted rather quickly, and he's pretty exposed here.
He is, but not a whole lot of engagement is going to happen immediately, which I understand. It's one of those things that, yes, the stovepipe's going to cause a hassle, but in and of itself, it's not going to destroy him immediately.
No. This is mainly for round 9 infantry, really.
I will turn your attention over here to the central position.
Oh.
So one of the 233s is going to go down. That bazooka, of course, is going to cause a bit of Sturm and Drang. Takes out 2 of them, so he paced himself really quite well. The question here is, can that last one engage the M10 tank destroyer, or will that shut down the entire push? I sincerely don't know which way it's going to go.
Very good question indeed. I mean, the Flammen Rifles are getting in, and the Panzer Grenadiers as well. I mean, there's not a whole lot of infantry here from Dark Neutron. As you see, he is evacuating the M10, so it should give Tanner a foothold onto the hill.
And Death's Head, P-Grens are also really, really strong.
Yep. Those 17-year-olds with MG42s are pretty scary.
As are most child soldiers.
A lot of teen angst.
Yeah. I cannot say I really ever kind of stand child soldiers, but this is definitely kind of a scary moment here.
Yeah.
Yowza. Alright, the 233 is just kind of hanging out. I think he's waiting for the smoke to clear before he tries to engage. Even more so, maybe we're going to see, yep, the Focke-Wulf bit's also going to... Oh, I like this. If the M10 doesn't get destroyed, he's going to be so stressed, the 233 can come in and just kind of blow on him and he's going to surrender. I expected a little bit more surrendering to be happening here as opposed to anything else. But first shot, there we go. There we go.
Not bad. And yeah, that's pretty much going to secure the lip of the hill there for Tanner.
Yeah, and that's a horrible position to try to be approaching from the front. P-47 is going to come back in. I don't know if the 88 is going to have range on that in time. Oh, no, wait. Oh, the P-47 just pulled out.
Wow. Must have lost line of sight.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. Looking down to the south, we do see a attempted build-up. We're going to see a big push here in just a minute, I'm sure. Sherman flanking on the southern side of this town. I don't think there's really the right defense here to stop them. I think it's going to necessitate either redeployment. Oh. Okay, the mortar was going to start firing, but I guess not. There's going to be redeployment, I think, at minimum. Maybe put a Panther or Panzer down over here in the southern town, but that's not going to be enough, I think, with what's there right now to stop any push by Neutron.
Mm-hmm. There we go. The mortar coming in effective here to try and kill that Pack 40 out in the open. And, yeah, it's going to be forcing them to fall back for the time being.
By the same token, other mortar is trying to engage, does not really find those LMG Rangers just yet. But we're seeing 57 mils go down, too. The northern side of the map is unabashedly blue.
It is. He's very close to capturing that run flag if he was to actually put any infantry there, but everyone's always very scared of pushing up north. Down south, however, it's a bit of a different story.
That's true, but that Focke-Wulf that came in, very, very well-placed bomb load there.
Yes.
Infantry is still going to retreat in disorder. That's not a surprise there.
Yeah, backed up with the M3A1 half-tracks and that one Sherman. I mean, he could definitely use a bit more infantry, as a lot of him just got bombed to hell and back. He still has a good chance of making a push on this hill.
Well, second run. There we go.
For the half-track rush in, it's just the perfect time for the half-track to rush in. I mean, historically, you know, half-tracks were designed to force enemies to surrender. That was initial intent when they were built in 1927. I don't really know when half-tracks were first made.
Actually, the first half-track wasn't until...
Probably like the 30s.
Yeah, it was like 33, 34?
Yeah, I don't know. It's either probably... I mean, it's only really two half-tracks. It's like the American run and the German run. And the Americans would just give air runs for everybody else. And the Germans really use jazz.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I think people were looking at the Spanish Civil War and they were like, we gotta change this up here, bro. And you know, and sounding like that, they decided to move on before things got too shady too quickly. And I'm trying to figure out, looking at this right here, with the fact that Dark Neutron does have himself a Juggernaut income, is this a once C phase hits, life is good for Neutron? Because I'm looking at the deck from Tanner, and he has almost a 2-to-1 advantage in tanks. Yes, they're not all rhinos. Rhinos are endangered for a reason. But, still a very, very terrifying setup.
Yeah, I really do like this meta, how we are seeing all these sorts of incomes being played. I mean, Balance is arguably the best one to take still, but let's replay. Both players are playing Maverick. I mean, we're seeing Juggernaut being used now, which is something you wouldn't even think about a year ago in 1v1s. Just a quick diversion up north, the P-47 coming in. Two very close Panzer IVs.
Oh, 233
the
is
double
one of them.
kill.
Yeah, 233 is one of them.
Yeah, 233, my bad.
That's
But
right.
damn, what an effective striker. Really great stuff. But yeah, the incomes is definitely an interesting decision from Dark Neutron, and he's gonna hurt a little bit in B phase, but against Balance, a 20-point difference isn't gonna matter too much. It's just, like you said, the tanks kind of get a little bit funky here, and Slutsk is a very tank-centric map. And especially second infantry, not a whole lot of infantry bazookas.
No, indeed. Not a whole lot there to speak of. I think I'm actually a little bit nervous for the second, because right now, those bombs have been not enough to switch the entire momentum on their own. They're still quite scary. Mortar half-tracks doubly so. And if we're going later and later into here, we got Hummels, we have Verbovin, so, the limited second Indian head kind of attacks aren't going to be able to be developed as easily.
Mm-hmm. And Hummel is definitely going to be a rather huge pain in the ass. I mean, not having any of the heavy artillery here for Dark Neutron. Your second infantry has really good amounts of 105s, as well as the long toms can prove to be rather useful. Which is another just weird thing about this meta, where you do want to have heavy artillery guns. Just a complete change of pace from last year.
We are going to see, at long last, that Dark Neutron has realized that he does, in fact, fight on more than just one front. Engaging with a couple of Hellcats to the north. But these Focke-Wulfs here, in the meantime, devastating the front lines. Truly devastating the front lines.
Yeah, really good hits. I mean, there's no anti-air up north. I mean, that run both forces, yeah, but he isn't deployed yet. But I'm curious to see how his Hellcats will play out. As large open fields, it's actually a pretty good area for them. They can run around easy peasy and get good flanks, as we're seeing right now.
They can get good flanks, but I feel like if the Panzers move back even just a little bit, the Hellcats are not going to be able to engage particularly well. There is a push in the south. We can actually see a half-track backing up some infantry here. The Sherman, in fact, too. There's that Panther D. I was wondering where the heck that Panther D went. He's down on the southern island. His turret is now unstuck. So good for him. He went to go see a doctor about that. And his wife is now very happy again with him.
Especially with that extended gun.
Oh yeah, man, the 88, man, you know what the ladies say. The size does matter and how you use it. You always want to go with a corrupt firearm when you're going out with a lady.
I'll keep that in mind next time I go on a date, Khan.
In this society, you're not going on a date in a while, man.
Yeah.
Funny thing is to kind of think about here too. There is a 105 to the north, and this is the shell that takes 4 years to get there. But when it arrives with quite a bang.
Yeah. Slow and steady wins the race, and the race of explosives, that is.
It certainly does seem to be the case. P4, excuse me, trying to negate those Hellcats. But 2-1, I never really thought to say it, that fictitious cats would take out a Panther. But I guess it's kind of like a pirate and ninja thing, you know?
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I mean, this is very interesting. As we're 17 minutes into this match, Khan, and it's still 12-12. It's barely moved at all.
And I think those are the maps that you kind of want to go, and you're not really sure which way that can run sometimes. Sometimes we can see players where it's 20 minutes in, and you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, no one's touched anything whatsoever. I think here has been a little bit more of, there's been some small feints here or there, but I think both guys have been able to mass the resources necessary to break up the attacks up from their opponent.
Yeah, like we have seen some rather decent concentrated attacks, but nothing that has made too much headway. It's really just that initial hill push, from Dark Neutron to try Drow, but he didn't really manage to exploit it too much. Like, if he managed to get down the hill into his 2 flags by that little village that spans across the road, that would have paid off dividends for him. But he was just a hill too far.
I thought you were going to make more of like a stock joke coming out of there too, but yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think you plant your way in your garden, and I go to a market. It'll work out differently for us all over.
Exactly.
We can see there's definitely going to be a concentrated shove up here on the northern side. There's a Rhino on the field, which means already that the P4 is dreadfully outgunned and outmatched. I would argue. I'm gonna watch him taking out the Rhino with 2 shots. But we're seeing an artillery park form. We're seeing an anti-tank park form. It's not going to be pretty.
We're seeing a whole heap of Focke-Wulfs up north.
Oh, good lord. I didn't even see them until just now.
Yeah, those Hellcats. You see them run. You see them hide. The Focke-Wulf is here to give them a surprise.
That was a very, very weird, Dr. Seuss moment there.
I know, it was completely ad-lib. I didn't know where the rhymes were coming from.
And I thought I was a writer. Man, right there, you should be a lyricist. Millions of men, women, and children will fall asleep to the dulcet tones of Rang. P-47 goes down. We have a potential crash kill.
Okay. Come on, just a little bit north, buddy. God damn it.
Focke-Wulf go down. In the meantime, he's not going to go and hit too much. Whitman is on the field. I missed the yellow. I should have smelled him coming off the elevator, but there's that yellow belly right there. He's coming on in. Watch him shoot at this bazooka or like this. He's gonna go down in a second. Here we go.
5 minutes.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I give him 5 minutes, so 25.
I'm surprised at how effective the Focke-Wulfs have been.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. I mean, he's been bringing out rather constantly, as we've been seeing. And as you saw against those Hellcats, you get one good bombing run on them, and down they go.
Sure, it does seem to be the case. There is a decent, AAA net being formed here. A lot of Bofors abreast, kind of in the northern side. Wait, Whitman is engaging the Hellcats. No one's been able to get a kill just yet, so, Whitman is certainly on the field. And down to the south, I'm surprised that neither guy can technically see the opposing troops right by that almost southernmost blue flag in that by the bridge.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Just neither one can see just barely. But, hey, I suppose that happens.
Until they run out in the open and get shot at by a machine gun fire. That's a good way to be seen.
I'm having a Monty Python moment here, just trying to think about how not to be seen.
You need to hide behind the middle bush, Khan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now the rifles have been seen. Yikes, they're definitely seen.
And now they're gonna be hidden 6 feet under.
But you know what? Most people don't look there. Once you hide 6 feet under, most people don't check.
That's true, it's kind of a pain in the ass to dig through 6 feet of dirt. I have to do that quite a bit.
Folks, the silence that you're hearing is, shockingly enough, loud enough to cover the sound of my jaw coming onto the floor right there. What I was about to say is that most people just, once you die, most people just trust that you're dead. I mean, that's how we know that Tupac Shakur is still alive. And that Walt Disney is in fact not frozen. He's somewhere too, man. He's all over. Now, research and infantry coming here to the northern side. This is still in Phase C, though. This is theoretically when Dark Neutron should be at his strongest.
Yeah, it's true, but he doesn't. It comes down to a tank problem. He doesn't have a whole lot of heavy tanks, and a whole lot of great super long range AT. I mean, yeah, those Hellcats are pretty nice. They have the APCR cells, which is pretty rare for an American tank. But with a C-phase card of Tigers with 8 Tigers in it, as well as all the B-phase Panthers still, he's not doing too bad in that regard. And this entire northern push, even though it's been great from Dark Neutron, it's really fun to see someone actually make a conceited push up north. Once that forest gets cleared out from the Panzer Grenadiers, it's going to be German tank central.
Now, I honestly, truly enjoy what you were trying to say right there, but I do have to note, calling it a conceited push means it's a rather arrogant push.
Yeah.
And forgive me. This, I've been teaching at boot camp the last couple of weeks here, so it's on the top of my mind. But it's true. It's true. We are seeing the Hellcats coming down the hillside here, and maybe this is a little bit arrogant. We are seeing them kind of come forwards. These guys still only have paper thin armor. Yes, you can you can pick on all those half tracks that you want to, but when you have this death blossom of Whitman, a true tank in that Panther, and then 2 P4s running point, that's not going to go well. And,
yeah,
when the Luftwaffe is coming back again. Maybe at least one bomb off, one series of bombs, probably at least one vehicle. Ooh, no.
No.
Wait, one did go down. One got strafed to death. Right behind the artillery commander. But.
Huh.
But. P4s, where the heck are they engaging? Oh, they're engaged that poor artillery commander. Yikes. But pushes, concerted or conceded, that Hellcat position up there is wide open, and I think we can see right now that you can't hold that position as it is. You need to have stuck a couple other anti-tank positions up there or something, whether it's 76 or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I do like what he's doing, where he's skirmishing back and forth, he shoots a little bit, runs to the safety of the top of the hill, and then comes back to bully the neighbor's kids with his 76mm gun. But now the neighbors are, packing something heavy, but they're really close together, and that's a bomb and run coming in. But nope, German anti-air is pretty strong today.
I do want to make a quick call out to the south. We are seeing that the Germans are getting kicked out of that town. While we were watching to the north as Hellcat Rage just became hell. there is a bit of a push coming in. The Tiger is still there on the back, so don't expect this to erupt into some major breakout. But there at least is some kind of success going on here. Yikes, and the Sherman goes down to a bomb.
Yeah, and with the tank down, and then that's going to give the Tiger free reign. Once again, don't have to worry too much about bazookas against 2nd Infantry, so it's not that dangerous to bring it into a town. And we're starting to see 2 Panzer IVs coming into the southern central position. The hit leave has the tank factories, working overtime.
Well, that's what you kind of have to do. I mean, we're seeing a reinforcement kind of platoon / company over here. I actually want to check what the Hummel's aiming. The Hummels are aiming at exactly the appropriate spot. They are suppressing the bejesus out of this Bofors.
Oh, that's a really good spot. Yeah, so bunched up together, it's bound to get a kill.
Now, the unlucky thing, I think, for the approaching German infantry is that they're going to be delivering and dropping off right in the middle of a 203. And, ooh, there's a ton of off-map going on here. There's 2 203s. So there's 406 millimeters of fire that can potentially be coming on down here. But to the north, in the meantime, the northern hillside is gone. Just completely gone.
Yeah, and the Hellcats are continuing to skirmish. Doing pretty decent. Managing to catch off any stragglers at long range, but there's only so much he can skirmish anymore as he's getting close to his own spawn point.
I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to just hunker back in the corner and just kind of wait for the AI to just frontally attack him, so he can just, skirmishing is true, but that was a Total War reference. I fell flat on its face. I
no, I know what you mean. You get you play the Macedon campaign in Rome 2. You go through the person, or oh no, it's not even. I guess you still have Macedon in Rome 2. You just bloody camp the corner of your Sarissa pikes. It's like, oh, I have 22-foot long pikes and you can't flank me because I'm in the corner.
Exactly.
Oh no, it brought archers. Even then, the archers run out of ammo.
I think that's exactly how Alexander won his empire. He was like, bro, like, this is... it's not camping. It's a legitimate strategy. Like, that's how that goes, man. Like, you don't try to... Yeah,
the Persians try to go around the flank, but you can't go over the map border. It's ungentlemanly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will say I was listening to a podcast talk about the Herculean Forest campaign, one of those campaigns that I didn't know a whole lot about before I listened to it, and I am just aghast at the World War I level of moments of dicking around that we did in that thing.
Yeah.
Any single time I bring that up, I bring that up and you're like, yeah, heard that too. Yeah, I know that one too. Man, folks, we don't need Rooster. We got Rang. Rooster right now is furiously typing a comment in full anger, and Rooster, we love you. Just, it's been
Pirate B.
Exactly. But a Canadian or a Cockle, I don't know which one would win that one. I mean a Rooster. You were saying, sir.
So it's a 13-11 there for Dark Neutron for a bit, but we ever seen the flag in the farmstead tipping over, and I feel like, Tanner's getting the plus run now. I feel like Tanner's definitely starting to get the momentum. Of course, he doesn't have the income, but on a map like this with the tanks, it doesn't matter. And we're at the 28-minute mark, and Rittman's still alive, Khan.
Yeah.
He's exceeding expectations.
I think part of it, though, too, is that, again, he's not on the front lines, the coward.
Yeah, it's not the Panther doing all the fighting.
And the Panther is doing all the fighting. He's picking off a couple of Hellcats here or there. There's just a couple of M10s to the north, and that's it.
Yeah, it's rather, unfair. The Panther's a Mark 5 tank, and the Tiger's a Mark 6. You think you get the Mark 6 nearer and better on the field, of course.
Well, maybe it's like golf, that the lower the mark, the better the tank.
Yes. And that was such a good joke, Dark Neutron surrendered.
But then look at the KD, and that's why.
Holy that's a double, almost a double, but mostly.
That's a bingo, as Colonel Londo would like to say. And it's not that because his troops are really doing that bad. If you look at a lot of them, they're very, very successful in taking, at least trading relatively equal. The problem is that there's an awful lot of other guys who just go down. Bernard over here, he's got an M10 and an M8. This Focke-Wulf over here has got 3 kills. There's other Focke-Wulf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills, including that P-47 that could have been absolutely brutal. Pack 40, 3 or 4 kills. Another Focke-Wulf down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, the air support here was spectacular. And this Frankfurter, this is the dude who was near the... No, this guy in the northern side. He paid for himself and then some.
Yeah. I mean, nice thing is, when all the enemy anti-tanks open top tank destroyers, those Focke-Wulfs come in pretty handy, especially with the Hellcats, with just how flimsy they are. They're very easy to kill once you breathe on them. Once you breathe on them, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, it's very, very interesting just to see the second... I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around the decision to bring the second Indian head in. It's
a good division. Like, we're seeing it. It's definitely top tier, that's for sure. I feel like getting more heavier artillery would have helped out.
True.
Like the 105s and long toms, and probably focusing a little bit more down south in that hill area, like the southern flank, like on the hill, because if you can completely capture that, it's very hard to take back. But I did like that central push on the hill. That worked out well for the most part. If he could have made it downhill, better. But that was a good divergence for the first 10 minutes or so, forcing Tanner to really focus in that spot.
And you know what? And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Methinketh I have been a little bit too harsh here, but that's all right. So, any other thoughts then, sir?
No, just another nice replay to end off this week's Steel Division 2 cast.
Indeed. Well, folks, until next time then, I'm Conalberg.
I'm Rangru. Take it easy.